Morning everybody. Yes, nice and early up the allotment there, and today we're just going to have a little look around and I'm going to try and get something off my chest with Mother Nature, because it seems this year where we have been battling with the elements, you know, all throughout this year, and lots of things are kind of, not say failing, but you've just got to, you know, you've just got to be prepared for some failures, you know. And it's to do with this kind of weather. This now, it seems, this dullness, this grey over dank clouds, is just not what we want, you know, in a garden, especially in the polytunnel. I mean, if you look, I'm actually now just sitting here, this is early morning, and I've got a light on the camera to get a bit of light in the air, so, you know. And if you watch, this is what it looks like normally, the video. Right. So as you can see, I'm normally now back to normal. This is all done in like post-production. I've got to like lift up the colours and lift up the highlights of my videos because it's just so dark. And that must have some effect on the plants. And especially, like I say, in the polytunnel, it's just, you know, a dark little environment. And yeah, we like heat, but God, the plants just crave light. So at the moment now, the biggest problem for me is the light. And it seems this year's just been all over the, you know what I mean, we've just been fighting with the elements. You know, we had the kind of red hot early May, April times where it just kind of knocked the plants, you know what I mean, everything was running to seed. And now, especially in my polytunnel, and I guess it's throughout the, you know, throughout England anyways, we've got this kind of this dark days. And what I'm kind of more concerned about is I wanted to kind of last the season to kind of last as much as possible, and to get the veg, you know, we need the kind of sunlight for the veg ripening. And it just means that the later, you know, the later tomatoes might not just ripen, where I could have had, you know, I could have snatched a few extra pounds of tomatoes. With all this kind of dark days, just things aren't going to ripen as quick. At the moment, it feels like we're in some sort of like limbo, you know what I mean? We're just waiting for the kind of the bright days to come by, and this whole greenhouse just seems like frozen in time. Yeah, it's not, there's certainly, you know, there's no kind of temperature problems. It's just like this darkness, you know what I mean, this dreary darkness that just seems to be lasting for ages. And I've checked the weather app, and we haven't got anything spectacular coming for a while yet, you know, at least 10-15 days. So what do you do? Now, I know we're early in the season at the moment, but like I say, I'm sure this year it's always this is just, you know, each year seems more difficult. You know, there is no autumn, summer, winter, you know what I mean? There's no like defining moment, and now we've got to just somehow manage and scrape through with what we're given from nature, and it always seems more difficult each year. But this year, you know, like I say, we're battling. Look at that, we'll go outside. I mean, there's a great example, you know, all this is now went to seed, and it's just a bit it's not like, it's just frustrating because you get the highs and the lows. But I'm just having a look, even over on the sprouting broccoli, you know, because of that early blast of sun, this bed especially has been, you know, so I'm losing 3 or 4 plants there already. And it just seems it's like one thing after another. We haven't got this steady, what we used to have, you know what I mean, the steady progression. Or am I just kind of, you know, looking through rose-tinted glasses at the past? And yeah, we did all the time have like horrible times where it was like difficult to grow. How are you coping with this unseasonably dark month of July? How are you coping? Is your garden going okay? You know, on kind of first look round, you know, it seems all right, but it's just, now is the time when I wanted the sunshine, you know what I mean, like the nice warm hot days. Yeah, I don't, you know, let it rain through the night, twice a week, rain through the night, and then we'll, you know, we can have the sunshine through the day. But it's just like, you know, especially when I've got like up the camera, you know, just to make it look nice and light for you. You know what I mean? It is some dreary days. You know, they're not cold by any means, but it's a frustrating time. I think the way I kind of come at this and try and deal with it is, and it always actually works for us, is I'm not having to produce this, you know, this veg. I'm not kind of having to survive with it. It's not like an essential thing. It's a hobby. And just coming up to the garden is what I want. Do you know what I mean? Just being involved with it and on a daily basis, and just, you know, seeing the the failures and the successes. But sometimes it gets a little bit difficult. Do you know what I mean? It's like building a model airplane, and you end up, you know, you think you're going to build this great bit of kit, and then when you finish result, it just looks a bit, I should have just bought the finished model. So it's a little bit like that for me, but I keep saying to myself, you're coming up to the garden, I'm getting out, I'm getting some fresh air, and that's all what it's about, I think, at the end of the day. Mind, there's one thing, you know what I mean, that seems to just work perfect in these days, is weeds seem to love it. Look at this. I mean, these are my the white gem parsnips. Now that bed was just parsnips, but look at, just over a couple of days, you know, for whatever reason, weeds seem to just thrive in any conditions, and yet the bloody stuff we want just takes ages, and you've got to mother it, and there's so many different elements are there to kind of hamper you and stop you in your tracks. We do what we do, and we'll just carry on, you know what I mean? And that's the only thing you can do, kind of just carry on and keep coming up and just keep persevering, do you know what I mean? And you do get your successes, and it's not all about success, you know what I mean? That's not what gardening's about. I think it's like what I just said there. It's about coming up and being in your garden. But when it's like day after day after day of this darkness, I think that's what I'm feeling at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's just, at least I'm out, but this darkness is just takes its toll, and I guess it takes its toll on a lot of folks, you know. So anyway, let's see if I can cheer myself up. Oh, you can see me carrots amongst the weeds. You can see the carrot line coming there, so hopefully that's good. That'll keep things, you know what I mean. So anyways, let us know, how do you deal with these days where it just seems endless darkness, and it's not maybe affecting the garden as a whole, but there is certain, you know, especially like you say the tomatoes and everything like that, they're like a nice bright day. How do you kind of cope yourselves? Let us know. Do you just try and carry on regardless, or does it get affected? Does it kind of bring your mood down when it's just day after day after day like this weather? I wish we all could just crank up the settings on life and just get it a little bit brighter. Let us know. Anyway, look after yourselves and enjoy your garden. Take good care.